What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Man First Podcast. It's your boy Ryan White. I got Cooper to my left.
What's up, guys?
Today is probably gonna be a really long episode.
Yeah, we've been lacking a little bit, so
Yeah,
gotta make it up to you.
we're gonna be catching up on some NBA stuff today. So let's talk about the West real quick, Cooper. So we have three teams already in the playoffs:
Right.
the Nuggets, Grizzlies, and Kings.
Mhm.
Of those three teams, Cooper, I mean, which one do you see going the deepest in the playoffs right now?
Right. So the most likely to go the deepest, I feel like, is the Nuggets, just because last year they have so much to prove after only going to the first round. Granted, they were without two really key starters, but I think they have a lot to prove this year. I mean, they're the number one in the West, so that says a lot. So I think they're the ones that hopefully win the West.
Okay.
I'm saying, but
Okay.
I think it will come with some high competition though. So
Yeah. With the Nuggets, they do have Jokic and
yeah,
Murray and they traded actually a lot of guys.
PGA and
Yeah. So they have Contavious, Caldwell Pope, and then
Jeff Green and
yeah,
so, I mean,
they got a good squad.
they've got a deep
Yeah,
squad.
they're very, very deep, I was gonna say. But what's your thoughts on the Grizzlies? I mean, John Morant situation took place about a month ago.
Right. So we're a little late on that. And
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a lot to be said that hasn't already been said. So I'm just gonna move on.
I hear you. I hear you. I mean, while John Morant was gone, we kind of saw a little bit of last year's team
Right.
with Desmond Bain leading the charge.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what do you, expect? I don't want to say expect, but with the Grizzlies, with John Morant, with Dylan Brooks, I mean, this team's pretty chippy. They do have some some dogs on their team that get pretty riled up sometimes.
Right.
Not gonna mention any names, but Dylan Brooks potentially. So what do you kind of expect from them? Can they keep their temper down and go far in the playoffs? Could they go?
I always preface this with like, as long as they're healthy, like
Exactly.
I think that's the biggest question. It's not so much their behavior. It is, but it isn't. I think John Morant has bettered himself for the most part, and I think this team as a whole is still kind of the villains of the league.
Yeah, I would say.
I mean, with Dylan Brooks, just his.
It used to be the Warriors. Now it's
like reintroducing this Draymond figure.
Yeah,
that is Dylan Brooks.
exactly.
So I think as long as they're healthy, I think they'll be fine in the playoffs. I think a first or second round exit, maybe.
First, second round.
Not first, but definitely second round, I think.
Okay, so
once you met with
if
that.
they played the Lakers or one of these four playing teams, which one do you think they'll have like the most success with, and then which one do you think they'll be like the most challenged by?
I know this is pretty okay, so Timberwolves and Thunder, I think they could beat us. And I think they could beat the Timberwolves. Pelicans, I don't know, because like granted, like Brandon Ingram's had some crazy nights. So
yeah,
I think Pelicans could pull off a win of the series. Lakers, I think they would win a series versus the Grizzlies.
Wow.
I know it's it's unpopular, but I think they could.
Okay.
If that's the matchup.
Right.
And then I mean, like that's pretty much it. I think if the Mavericks make it to the play-in, which I mean they could, they're like one game away from being in contention.
Right.
So I mean, I don't think the Mavericks would win.
Okay.
And then Jazz, really on the outskirts of it, they would need to pull something crazy to get in. But I think I think they would lose ultimately.
Okay. Let's kind of go down one more. So Sacramento Kings, they're currently the 3 seed in the playoffs, Cooper.
Mhm.
They do have one of the worst defensive ratings. They allow 118 points per game, which is the highest among, uh, you know, top 10 teams in the West.
Yeah.
So there's been some question with that, especially, and then also with how young they are and their first time being in the playoffs in 17 years. What do you expect from them? Because we haven't really, there's not really much that we know about how far they can go in the West.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's so unproven, I guess. I know Sabonis has some playoff experience with us and with the Pacers.
yeah,
But I don't know. It's still a relatively young team. Like, um, De'Aaron Fox has, I don't think has ever been to the playoffs. He's super. Yeah, I mean, he's like what 27 or 28, something like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
And then I mean, Keegan Murray, who's stepped up to be a really key role in the offense.
right.
Malik Monk has a role in defense, offense. I think he's a really good shooter. So I
Mhm.
mean, it's a pretty well-rounded team. I don't know about depth, I guess.
Okay.
I haven't really looked at their team like super in depth. But I think they could possibly win in the first round.
Yeah.
But if it's against the Warriors or something, then I think
Yeah, because they are the 3 seed right now.
right.
So they could either play the Warriors or the Clippers or the Suns.
If they can beat the Warriors, I
That's
think
gonna be
that's a
so tough.
feat.
That's
That's
gonna
a
be
feat. I mean, I don't think they could
right, because the Warriors, we just know so much about them.
because they
We
give up so many points. I
yeah,
think the Warriors would smoke them.
they would have to like be shooting 50% from the
Right.
field, from three, from everything.
Okay, granted they are the higher seed, so they would have home court advantage, which gives them an up in that. I
Yeah,
think
because
that would be
we all know the
important.
Warriors suck away from home.
Right.
We know that.
And like Warriors home court advantage is really, really good, and they need that. So if you take that away from them, then possibly, but
Okay.
I still don't see it happening. I don't think the Warriors going out first round with the same team they won the finals with,
Right.
you know.
Right.
So I think it's a stretch.
Plus, we don't know if Andrew Wiggins is going to be back
That's true.
because he's been out for a couple months, probably a month now,
Yeah,
for personal reasons.
yeah,
So yeah, that's a big question for me personally. Like, if Andrew Wiggins isn't back, he's a scorer, he's a defender, he can do whatever you need. He's a rebounder too. So
and then you got two lethal shooters on the court with Clay and Curry
and Draymond right there too.
oh,
Not a shooter, but like
but,
defender
yeah,
and other stuff.
yeah. I don't see it happening honestly.
Okay.
Maybe a matchup with the Clippers if Warriors jump up a couple seeds, then I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see them beating the Clippers or maybe a Suns team.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
I don't see them beating the Warriors.
Yeah.
Sorry, but
Hey, no problem, bro. No problemo.
that's
Okay.
just my opinion.
Let's talk about the playing tournament for a second.
Right.
Because we know in the West, we've got 5 teams right now who are trying to compete in the West.
Right.
We have Lakers, Pelicans, Timberwolves.
And will you share your screen on the video just so they can see the standings? Because it's pretty close. Like,
yeah,
I mean, it is 4 games left for most teams, 4 or 5. So I mean, it could go any way, you know. So
okay. So for people watching, Lakers, Pelicans, Timberwolves, Thunder, Mavericks, maybe Jazz. Jazz are only 1.5 games behind OKC right now. So,
Mhm.
tell me a little bit so the audience they can see. I think we can all see that. So tell me, Cooper, what teams let's start with the Jazz. So the Jazz, they are 1.5 games behind OKC right now. There's not much, I would say, much left for them to maybe pull in to the playing tournament. It's definitely looking pretty bad right now for them. There has to be some miracle, I think,
Right.
for them to make the playing tournament. Well,
Yeah,
what
but
do you?
then
What
I
are your
would say
thoughts?
even if they made the play-in tournament, like I mean, I think Jordan Clarkson's still out and some of their key guys are out. So I don't know. Even if they did, I wouldn't be too excited about that.
Okay. So let's look at our last 5 games here, Cooper. They play at Brooklyn,
Brooklyn.
and then they play at home versus the LA Lakers, and then at home against OKC, and then at home against Denver, and then they play in Los Angeles.
So Brooklyn, I feel like I think that's gonna be a loss. Like 2 LA games. LA has to win, so I don't know. And one's at LA, so
Yeah. So those 2 LA games, that's going to be toughest. I think Denver will probably be resting their guys at that
yeah,
point.
they're 1 seed. I think
They'll probably win that game.
2 games away from the play-in playoffs. I
Right.
think they're resting their star guys.
Exactly. And then OKC, that's going to be a tough game too. So we'll have to see. But, Jordan Clarkson, like you said, Larry Martin has stepped up quite a bit, honestly.
For sure.
But there's going to be so much riding on these next 5 games for all these teams.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the Mavericks, Cooper. I'm wearing the Mavericks hat right now. I went to Dallas 2 weeks ago and got this hat just for all you guys to know. But I mean, starting early, like 2 months ago, this team was in the 5th and 6th seed, Cooper,
Yeah.
without Kyrie.
Yeah.
Without Kyrie. And then they traded for Kyrie, and now they've been like 7 and 14 their last 21 games.
Yeah. I mean,
what do you expect? I mean, what can they make the play-in? What do you think? And why are they playing so bad with Luka and Kyrie?
I think you should make a push for playing. I think Mavericks fans would be pretty mad if you didn't.
Yeah.
At least try. But
Right.
I don't know what's going on. I think both of them were injured at one point for a
Yeah,
couple
they were.
games, which that takes a toll on the team. I don't know. I'm gonna look at their last 5 games, or can you?
They're right there.
Okay. Miami.
So-
Okay, yeah, I think we've looked at this.
Yeah.
So Miami, I think, kind of a tough game for them. Atlanta, I think they could pull that off. Sacramento, I don't.
They might be resting their guys.
Right.
So that could be an easy win, but
Yeah, that could be a win. I think Chicago and San Antonio, I think they can win.
Okay.
Those. So yeah, I think they could make the play-in, but
yeah. It's gonna be tough. I mean,
yeah,
it's gonna be tough for all these teams. But I mean, Dallas, they don't have any depth, like you said, Cooper.
yeah,
You know,
that was my biggest concern.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they traded away
yeah, you said
Dinwiddie.
injuries and depth. That's what is hurting them right now. But I mean, looking at the stats, Christian Wood,
And I think it also comes down to like whether they're healthy or not, as a lot of these teams do, but especially this one. Because I mean, Christian Wood, I know last season he was injured a lot, and Kyrie has been injured a little, like 5 games
right?
so far, and then I mean, Luka's been injured quite a bit, missed like 18.
Yeah, 14 games
14
probably.
games,
Yeah.
So I mean, Yeah, I mean, when your stars are missing games like that, I mean, you can't expect to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I hear you, but they do have some talent. I mean, Josh Green, who, he's only averaging 9 games right now, but 9 points per game right now. But when both guys were out, when Luca and Kyrie are both out, he was keep dropping like 30 points.
Right, and Jaden Hardy has also stepped
Jay
up
Hardy's,
to that.
yeah, he's another guy too.
Kind of a beast.
Um,
Reggie Bullock, he's kind of a spot-up shooter. Um, Maxi Kleber has also come up pretty clutch with them.
for me personally, I really like Tim Hardaway Jr. I think he is
Okay.
a fantastic player. He's shoots the ball amazing. He's averaging 14 a game, which is pretty solid. And yes, he does need to up his defense a little bit,
I
but
think
the whole team, yeah,
I think that's just a general consensus for the whole team.
they just don't have many guys on their team that can make shots. I feel like because like they average 113 points per game, which is not a lot compared to other teams. But like you said, their depth, like if they're on a streak, like if they're shooting the ball really well,
Yeah.
they're gonna win the game. But if they're not shooting great because they have so many 3-pointer guys on their team, then that's when they start to fall.
So they average 113.8 and then they give up 113.3.
Right.
So like it's I just don't think their defense is that great. Like,
Yeah.
because I mean, Luca really doesn't play a whole lot of defense, and then Kyrie, I mean,
Kyrie's
he
can, but
he just doesn't a lot.
yeah.
Because I mean, you're gassed out either way, you know. Like if you play hard defense, you might give up a little bit of offense for
Right.
that. So
Right.
I guess it just depends, but
Let's talk about some other teams because those two are out playing right now.
yeah.
So OKC Thunder, our hometown, okay, our home team.
Yeah.
There's so much good about this team that we can talk about. But recently, with the loss to the Pacers, and
That really hurt me.
that hurt me too.
Because like that win would have made us tie like even,
Right.
and
So these last 4 games, in my opinion, we should have won all of them. We should have beaten the Hornets,
yeah,
especially at home too. Like
yeah.
you gotta win that game.
I don't know. The Hornets knocked off the Mavericks twice.
Yeah, Hornets, dude. Honestly, they're a good team. When they actually try,
Yeah,
they're a good team.
when they're healthy.
When they're not. So
Yeah.
talk about me a little bit about your thoughts on OKC right now. You know, they're probably going to make the play-in tournament. I don't want to predict it, but I'm going to say they probably are.
Yeah.
Do you think they could win out in both games? What do you think, Cooper?
I think so. I think if we maybe got up to like a seventh or eighth seed, then we'd have a little bit more control. You know, seventh, you only have to win one. So
Right.
if we could get up to a seventh or eighth seed, that would be optimal. And I don't think it would be too hard.
Right.
But I'm just gonna say some notable players. Shea, obviously, dude, all-star. Jalen Williams has really been
Stepped up.
as a rookie. It's just a different level,
He's been
and
amazing.
I'm really excited to see what he can do next year.
Right.
And in the playoffs.
Right.
Granted, we make it. Josh Giddey has been solid.
He does what he does all the time. He averages almost triple double.
Yeah.
I think the next 2 years he's gonna start averaging at least almost triple double.
Yeah.
Because he's just that guy.
Yeah.
Like he makes shots, but he doesn't look for himself
Right.
first. He wants to pass it out. dish it, maybe get a rebound, pass it.
Because you got Shea who's running the floor.
Right, you got Shea running the floor.
So Lou Dort, I mean, he's playing great defense and also gives us a little bit of offense
Right.
when he can. I shouldn't say a little. I mean, 14 punts is quite a bit.
Dude, look at this.
But
So Lou Dort's averaging 1 steal a game. Jalen's averaging 1 steal a game. Shea's almost averaging two steals a game, which is
and 1 block.
And 1 block. So
I think as we get better and better, I think once we nail down the center position, I think that's we got the West.
yeah. And dude,
I don't think that's so crazy to say.
It's not. It's not because dude,
And I don't want to be like super biased. Like I think
we're not trying to be
genuinely
biased.
this is a good team.
We're just spin facts.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I mean we have Chet. We've got like 3 first-round picks this year. So I mean next year I think it's
game over.
time.
Game over for everyone.
We gotta prove ourselves. But I think we
Dude,
did.
it's guys that we've been building this thing. We've been building this team for the last 3 years. You know,
literally, we've been tanking
the ups and downs of everything that we've been through.
Yeah.
This team is not only ready for the playoffs, if not this year, then next year. But you know, there's so many young guys that are developing at very high levels.
Right.
You know, so and I think that's what separates OKC from a lot of their teams is that we know how to develop guys. You know,
yeah.
I mean,
I think the only thing we really need is like some veterans on the team. I think that would be great.
what are some veterans like? We have Dario Saric. He's good.
We had Chris Paul, we had Shea, and I think that was amazing for players.
And we had Schroeder. We had Schroeder as well.
We did too, yeah. So I think if we can maybe give up a couple picks, maybe probably not first round, but
second round.
give up a couple picks, pick up some veterans or a veteran. I think we should honestly.
Well, what are like some veterans that you could see playing for OKC maybe next year?
DeMarcus Cousins.
DeMarcus.
I feel like he could still play. I mean,
he definitely can. He's been on a lot.
Even if we signed him to like a 1 year or something.
1 year, $2.6 million deal or something.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be crazy amount, but
no, he's been on social media. He's been on podcasts. I've been watching.
Yeah.
He's been asking the same questions.
Yeah, because he hasn't officially
else.
retired.
No, he's not retired.
He's still on the market.
Right.
We could pick him up if
we
we wanted to.
Dude, he was averaging like 25, 10, and like 3 a game.
Yeah.
When he was in his prime.
Yeah.
So
I'm not looking for those numbers, but
he
coming off the bench, like
honestly, he could produce.
I think
he could probably produce those same numbers if a team really tried to, put effort into him.
I would say maybe like 10,
7, and 1 maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
10 points, 7 rebounds, and like maybe 1 block or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
we do have some veterans on the team. We have Dario Saric, who I really like personally.
Yeah,
I was great pickup.
Yeah, he's a good spot up shooter. Like,
yeah, I do really miss Mike Muscala though. He's a guy who really stayed true to OKC.
Yeah,
which is what I really liked.
Yeah. Isaiah Joe.
Kenrich Williams.
Mm-hmm.
He's very. I mean, he's not a veteran, but he's been playing for a little bit.
Yeah.
Checking his stats. I mean, it's his 5th season in the NBA, so he definitely has the same experience as Shea, I would say.
Yeah.
But I mean, Cooper, should Joe Williams get the Rookie of the Year?
No.
What do you think?
I don't think so.
No.
Because look, no offense to him, bro. He's doing his thing, but Paulo Banchero is like a franchise player, bro. Like, the other night he had like 30. Like, I think he's getting rookie of the year.
I think what's kind of messed up about that is because he is the franchise player. Like
Yeah.
he's the guy that's supposed
He
to be
is
averaging.
the best
He
player
needs to
on
be
the
averaging
match.
25 a game. Like that's what they expect from him.
Yeah.
And I think
Because
with
he is the key guy.
like going into the season, you knew he was gonna be the best player on the team.
Yeah, I
Or-
mean, he's the first round pick.
Right. So I mean, it was already kind of like back in the future, we already knew he was gonna be, that talent,
Right. And the Magic have been way better off because of it. Like last season was pretty hard to watch for the Magic.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a little
Yeah.
bit. They're kind of the same trail as us with their future and everything, but
So Paulo is 20, 7 rebounds, and then 4 assists.
okay. 20 points per game.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a team leader.
But let's go back to OKC for a second.
Right.
So if we do get in the playoffs, we're probably gonna be the 8th seed, which means we're probably gonna be playing the Nuggets. Or like I said, Grizzlies.
I think even just to win the play-in,
Just get in the
just
playoffs.
to win a play-in,
Yeah,
and get a series under our belt.
That'd be amazing.
Even if we lose, we get blown out every game.
Like
I don't really mind.
I
Just something, some experience.
like if we push that series with the Nuggets or the Grizzlies, like
Yeah,
6 games, like that would be a win.
yeah.
Honestly,
In my book, yeah.
yeah, because we already made playoffs, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So that's OKC future. We'll talk about in a second. Actually,
we kind of already have.
Do you want to talk about the picks right now? Because
let's talk about the East play-in, and then we can switch to that.
okay, East play-in. Let's go. So the main teams that are still in right now are the Miami Heat, 40-37, Hawks, and then Raptors, and then Bulls. So it goes Heat 7th seed, Hawks 8th seed, Raptors 9th seed, Bulls 10th seed.
Mhm.
And
And
then below the Bulls, we have the Wizards, Pacers, and then Magic.
So those 3 teams haven't officially been eliminated yet.
No,
they could by some
Magic are on a 1-game win streak right now. I mean, shoot.
by like crazy
They're
percentage.
only
They
4
might.
games back, so if they win every single game.
Yeah, I mean, we can look at their schedule.
Yeah, let's go check it out real quick.
They would have to win all 4, and then teams would have to lose.
Okay. So let's see real quick. So right now, the last 5 games for the Magic are Detroit, Cleveland, Brooklyn, and then Miami.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I think Brooklyn wants to win though. I think Brooklyn's gonna want to win. Miami's probably because just to have another win.
Yeah.
Detroit, I think he's gonna win that.
Yeah, that's gonna be an easy one there. Right?
Cleveland, I don't know.
Back to back.
Yeah.
I think
in or
Cleveland's in the playoffs. So would they be trying though?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I think they can win both those games, honestly.
Yeah, they might be able to.
Those last 2 games is what is kind of questioning. It's kind of, tough to say.
They could win the 3 games, but that's so.
Because Miami and Brooklyn are going to go hard. Okay, they're going to try to win those games.
So how many games? 5?
I'm saying 3 games. But
So
they
they'd
could
be
win.
36. I mean, Bulls are 37, and they'd have to win, or they'd have to lose every game.
Right. So what's your thoughts right now on the Pacers, Magic, and Wizards? Could they make it into the play-in, or do you think it's already set, those 4 teams?
Magic, I don't think so. Pacers, nah. Wizards, probably not. So I think it's those 4 teams, depending on the seeding between them. I think that could change.
Right.
But I think how it is right now, I think that's what.
Can we see the Nets maybe dropping into the play-in or no?
I don't. I don't know. I mean, 2 game win streak. Let's see, I want to see their schedule before I say anything. It is so they play Utah, Minnesota, Detroit, Orlando, and Philly. So Utah, I think they could catch the dub. Minnesota got that. Detroit, yes, and then Orlando, yeah.
Okay. So you're saying
And then I think they could win.
you're saying they're probably gonna stay 6 seed.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
So in that case, we got 76ers Nets in the playoffs.
Yeah, that I don't know.
You don't know about that? I don't know about that either.
I think they're gonna lose first round.
That's your team though, Coop.
Sorry, but
That's your team.
I think 76ers are just an all around better team.
Which team right now to you, Cooper, is the most shocking? Like they were supposed to be that team this year, like in the top 5, but then now they're like in the play-in. What team do you think, or maybe they're all the way down to like the 13th seed? What do you think about which team has been the most shocking to you in the East?
In the East, I think it would be the Hawks.
Okay.
Because in the offseason they acquired Deontay Murray. I know they gave up a couple guys for that, but I mean, Trey Young he just hasn't been at the same caliber, I guess. They're not even right now, so I think that's kind of a big fail for them.
Because I mean, so right now Trey's averaging 26. Compared to 2 years ago,
Yeah,
Trey's not the same guy. I mean, last year he was averaging 20. His second year in the NBA, he was averaging 29
yeah.
a game. So, that definitely is tough to see, but it's been really, yeah, like you said,
But I mean, he hasn't been
they've added
injured.
pieces around him, so it kind of makes sense that he's averaging less points.
But I do like that he hasn't like been injured or hasn't had anything like that. So I mean, he's staying healthy.
Yeah,
That's a good thing. Deontay Murray, I don't know. He's kind of, I mean, 20 is pretty good, but I just feel like John Collins and all of their guys could be better.
yeah.
I don't know why they're an 8 seed. I thought they would be higher. Like,
I think it's more so the defensive side
yeah,
to it because
which picking up Deontay Murray was
that was a defensive move,
right,
right?
because he is a defender first.
When you look at their stats for 117.9 points per game, 117.9 opponents points per game. So that right there, it just shows you how even they are, how boring of a team they are.
Yeah,
honestly.
And I mean, Trey Young doesn't really play defense. Like
he plays defense, but just like not at like a higher level.
Right. Which not everybody's going to, but
right.
It is kind of underwhelming, I guess.
And then
another team that I would say was been like.
You want to move to the West? Which team has been the most shocking in the West for you, Cooper? It's tough pick because there's been a lot of sucky teams.
I'm trying to think. I don't want to say the Lakers because like they've done a lot of stuff,
injuries,
trades, and stuff like that, and I think they were kind of uncertain. I think the expectation with LeBron on your team is to be really consistently good. But I think the most shocking is probably the Pelicans for me.
Really?
Because like Zion just hasn't been able to play a lot.
Right.
And just it's so uncertain that I don't know. I wanna I would like contemplate maybe like trading Zion or doing
Really?
something of that nature. But I know they just like
That's your best
signed.
player, bro. Look, he's averaging when he is playing, he averages 26 a game. That's
No,
your
he's only played 29 games.
yeah.
Like,
I mean, Brandon Ingram's been hurt as well. So
yeah, that's true. Like Rollins been consistent.
yeah,
Valanciunas, yeah. It's just injuries for this team, I guess. And I mean, that's pretty out of their control. I just
right.
feel like they're just the most underwhelming team in the West.
Yeah,
Um, Probably Timberwolves too. But picking up Rudy Gobert and
yeah,
still being only a ninth seed, four
yeah.
games away from the playoffs, like that
Right.
would be
Traded all
pretty
your picks.
overwhelming.
You traded all your picks. You traded Walker Kessler, and you trade all those guys like
Yeah.
just for Rudy Gobert, who's still averaging the same numbers.
Mhm.
He's not any different than he was with the Jazz. Like, it's just
I feel like the West is so like in the whole NBA, there's so many injuries, but like
personally, I still think the West is the best conference,
really,
in my opinion. Because
I think East is right
I
now.
mean, the reason with the East is like it's just like there's so many bottom teams that aren't that good. Like
Yeah.
with the West, you have so much talent, so many teams that are trying to win.
Okay, when I think of the East, I think of like really good defensive teams, not as much like 3-point scoring, but also like just efficiency on the offensive end.
Okay.
Right now, like this year. And then when I think of the West, it's kind of like heavy offense, and then lacking in defense.
Yeah. But again,
Which Nuggets
I think that's because of
are
the
probably
talent. I think that's because of the
yeah,
talent that's in the West.
which they can overcompensate on offense.
Right. In the East, like the Bucks, they play the same bad teams like twice a week. Like they play Pacers twice a week, and that's why they win so much. So,
I mean, the same thing could be said about Nuggets or Grizzlies team.
yeah,
Like,
true.
there's going to be bad teams you're matched up with, but
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. I think we'll see. I mean,
yeah. We'll see how it goes, but
yeah. Moving in on to like the future of these bottom feeder teams. We'll just take a dive into that.
you want to talk about the Spurs first?
Yeah.
Good. So Spurs right now are 19 and 58, second to last in the West.
Yeah.
You know, it's tough for Pop because
Yeah,
he's built up this franchise
right.
that has had so much success.
And I mean, they traded their big star player. So I mean, I didn't expect them to be good, but
Yeah, yeah. So right now they have Kelvin Johnson, who averages 22 a game, best player on the team. And then we have Devin Basile, who I personally like a lot. He's a very shifty, kind of like a DeJounte Murray, I would say.
yeah,
Um,
been there for like 3 years. So
yeah, been there for 3 years.
himself.
He's established he's getting better every single year.
He has been injured a lot this
He's
year.
been injured. Yeah, that's the big question right now with him is injuries.
Right.
And really, it doesn't really matter right now, though. Like,
Yeah.
you're still going to be a bad team either
Yeah,
way.
I think a lot of their starters are
And
out
then,
right now.
yeah, Devontae Graham, I really like him a lot.
I like Trey Jones.
Listen,
personally.
Devontae Graham has proven himself to be a great
Which
asset to teams
they picked him up.
in the middle of the season this year.
Okay.
Well, during the trade deadline.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something that I really didn't like from the San Antonio Spurs was They trade Jakob Hotel to the Raptors again, which I mean,
Yeah.
it's tough.
Okay, but they do have Gorgai Dean, who I think
4GA.
Gorgie Dean, who I think, I mean, I think he's good.
Well, the stats say different, Cooper. I don't know.
I think
I don't know what stats you're reading.
he's a veteran.
Right.
You know, like I mean, he has a lot
He's
of
like the only
experience.
veteran on the team.
So
So
I just think
he's been
like,
playing for what, 10 years now?
yeah, probably.
He's averaging 3 points a game, 3 rebounds.
Yeah, so maybe not like
assists.
good, but I think he's just
Averaging a block a game, too. I mean, yeah, sure, he is a
which he has not played a lot
no.
or started a lot. So
Yeah, he only averages 10 minutes a game. So, I mean, what do you expect, Cooper? Do you really think that they can make the play-in next year, or is that more so like in 2 years? Or I mean, what are we
all
talking?
right, let's look at their picks if you want to switch to that
Okay.
and then share your screen.
Okay.
Because I mean they don't have a crazy amount of picks next year, but it is quite a bit.
Okay.
2 first round, 2 second round. That could greatly improve.
So tell the audience what I mean. They have tons of picks, but
Right.
you know, what do we expect from them with all these picks?
So 2 first round. That's I mean you're in the draft lottery, right? Because you're such a bad team.
Such a bad franchise.
So it could be a first pick or second pick, depending on what their odds are. But I think that could be a great pickup for them, both of them. And then second round, I think get a couple steals. So
Yeah, so 2025, they have 3 first round picks, 3 second round picks. You know, they're just
they've
building.
got a future. They just gotta slowly.
They have a tremendous future right now. I mean,
they have a lot of picks.
so many picks.
So I mean, I think
Most of them are second round picks, but still.
yeah. Even second, like we've learned second round, sometimes those are the better picks.
Right. So I mean, if they have a GM and that's really good, that knows talent,
Yeah.
and they pick some some players like that are kind of like Tim Duncan, you know. I'm not gonna say like exactly like him, but
Yeah.
just like they have talent enough where they can become those guys.
Right. They can develop and
Right. So I mean, I think that if they know what they're doing, then yes, they will be
because like
a good team.
a big star player, that's the place they really fit in with nobody else really stepping up.
Right.
They can lead the team in their first couple of years. Like that's
What if they got Bronny?
That's a dream.
What if they got Bronny? Then they get LeBron.
I mean, yeah. If they
Yeah.
can get it. I feel like Pop would keep coaching.
Pop that'd be so cool, like seeing Pop
Yeah.
and LeBron on the same team. That'd be awesome.
That would be cool.
So
Because I mean they've faced in the finals a couple times. So.
hey, I think we all know that went.
Yeah, LeBron.
I mean, LeBron got one, Pop got one. Here's the payroll real quick. Doug McDermott, highest paid player right now on the team. Devontae Graham, obviously they traded for him.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously they have lots of money to spare. So I mean they could maybe get some talent. They could trade if they want to.
Yeah.
But
which I think I would just
maybe just keep
going along.
Okay. I hear you. So we know the Spurs have a good feature ahead of them, Cooper.
Yeah.
What's the next team you want to talk about?
So next team, let's keep it in the West. Go Rockets.
Rockets.
They're slightly worse than Spurs.
1959?
Yeah.
Wait, is that the same? Let me check.
No, they're 1 game worse. So they've lost
Okay.
1 more game.
So Rockets suck more
Yeah.
than the Spurs.
Slightly.
Okay. So let's check on some players on the Rockets right now. So right now, Jalen Green obviously he's averaging 22 a game. That's what you expect from a guy like him. Kevin Porter still playing for them 19 a game.
So
He definitely kind of has some anger issues, I'd say.
yeah.
I mean, he has a history of some
Hey,
some
he's passionate. Okay.
yeah. Maybe, but still like towards his teammates too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's a little questionable.
Yeah, that is.
Alperen Sengun, I really like him a
I
lot.
do too.
We actually drafted him, and then we traded him to the Virginia Rockets. So, but no, he's a really good player. I like him a lot. Jabari Smith, do you think he's kind of underplayed a little bit? I mean, how high he was drafted?
30 minutes? That's a lot.
30 minutes a game, you're only averaging 12 points. I mean,
Underperforming, yeah. I think
Yeah.
they're giving enough minutes. I think Jalen Green is kind of a leader of that team.
yeah,
You don't pass a lot. 4 assists.
yeah.
You could definitely do more. Kenyon Martin Jr., I like him too.
I like him too. Yeah,
I think his team just
he's
needs
played.
more time.
He's played every single game this year.
Josh Christopher needs to get more minutes.
Why? You think he's underappreciated?
Yeah.
I mean,
11 minutes a game. It's kind of
he only gets 5 points though. He's not that good.
11 minutes a game though. What? What are you talking about?
Yeah, last year he averaged 18 and 8 points. So, yeah, keep him where he is.
Hater.
Um,
All right.
You want to talk about the future real quick?
Yeah. See what that
So let me share the screen real quick.
Yeah. So they've got a pretty bright future.
Pretty bright. It's like
pretty bright.
like how bright are we talking? Like super bright?
Like if you're
Like the sun,
if
or
the sun is like as far away
They're
as it
showing
is
it.
from the earth, and then you like moved 93 million miles away or closer to the sun. That's the Houston Rockets future. It's really bright.
Okay, so picks, they have 3 first-round picks this year. No second-round picks. That's
No
cool.
second round picks. So they're gonna be in the draft lottery. I think
Yeah.
Detroit Pistons are worse.
Yeah, we all know how bad they are.
But yeah, they'll have a pretty high percentage of getting the first or second. So
Right.
have a good chance.
Any players right now they're kind of like in the top 5 picks?
For them
For them.
specifically, I feel like they need a bigger man. Would you say?
Well, I was just gonna ask, like, have you been watching, or do you know like any guys in the top 3 where the Rockets could potentially pick?
I feel like
Because you're talking about some guys earlier. I forget which guys you're talking about.
trying to think.
The guy from
Gregory Jackson.
the guy from Alabama, Braxton Miller.
Oh yeah, Braxton Miller.
I really like
I think
him.
he's gonna go quick.
Yeah.
So
Everybody's saying he's like top 3,
yeah.
maybe number
So I
1.
mean, a pickup for the Rockets,
Yeah.
possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's like what 6'10" or something.
6'8",
6'8".
6'9".
Okay.
Yeah.
But is he kind of lanky?
Yeah, he's kind of like the.
Okay.
Yeah. So 2024, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks. 4 of those are second-round picks, but
Well, his first.
so we can see, you guys can see that this team their future is locked in.
Yeah.
I mean,
Depending on like what the decision making is.
right, GM comes into play here. I mean, if you don't draft the right talents, then
Obviously it falls.
You won't have the good team that you
It falls
want.
back on the GM.
Right.
But yeah.
And personally, I think they should maybe fire their coach, Steven Silas.
I don't know.
Search on there.
I think it is Steven Silas or something.
Yeah, Steven Silas. And I know he's been talking to the media about he's not connecting with the team, the players. He's had a hard time doing that.
Yeah, Steven Silas.
So I kind of feel bad for him personally because no coach wants to be in that scenario at all.
I don't know how to really like coach that team.
I mean, right, what do you say? Just like, go play, you know, go get us a loss, or get us some,
Yeah, especially like
like,
just
what do you
tanking
say?
like that. It's kind of tough to.
Yeah, it's tough to say what to do with those players, because you know you're not gonna win, you know you're not gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So what are you actually like playing for?
Yeah. What's your mindset? I
Right.
get it.
So you wanna talk about Pistons? The worst team in the NBA right now?
Let's do it.
So 1661 currently for the
Wow.
Pistons. They are last in the East.
39 back from one seed.
I mean, obviously they've had lots of injuries. Bojan Bogdanovic only played
Right.
59 games.
And then Kid Cunningham.
Broke his foot in half, so you know.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the biggest reason why they're.
I mean, if they did have Cade Cunningham, I mean, maybe it'd be like 25 wins, maybe.
Yeah.
But I mean, still, it doesn't make a difference. So talk us through, Cooper. What do you expect from this team in the next couple of years? Future wise, do you think they have a good future?
A lot. I think we can expect a lot from them. I mean, Cade has obviously shown he can be a leader. With guys like Jaden Ivey, you got James Wiseman, newly acquired.
Right.
Wait. So they trade Sadiq Bey.
Yes.
Okay.
He's on the Hawks right
So,
now.
okay. I mean, Marvin Bagley, I don't know. I like Jalen Duran a lot. I just think this team just needs to be healthy.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You got any input for this?
I do like the assets that they have. I think Jalen Duran's a really, really good player.
Yeah.
He's that big guy that most teams don't have.
So 9 rebounds and then almost a block a game.
Right.
And then
and dude, like they have so many big guys on their team, like James Wiseman, Jalen Duran, Marvin Bagley. I mean, these guys, like most teams don't have good centers, but they do.
Yeah.
And if they can build around those guys, I feel like they have a really, really good chance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I mean, you have Jane Ivey, who's a great point guard. You have Kate Cunningham, who's amazing.
Yeah. When he's healthy, he's crazy good.
I mean, I think
almost arguably one of the rookie of the year last year.
Yeah, I mean, if they can continue to develop these players.
I mean, let's look at the future for
Yeah.
Real quick.
I don't have it pulled up. Let me pull it up real quick. Pistons. This.
But yeah, I mean, they're getting a lottery pick for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I was pull up. Sorry, I can't type.
Okay.
Draft. All right. And let me share my screen.
So they've only got a second. Which, yeah, I mean, I can see that because like they've got a lot of guys ready.
So they have one pick this upcoming draft.
So I don't know. You were talking about like maybe it would be a lottery.
Yeah, so
I'm
not sure how that works because if you're a horrible team, do you automatically get the first pick?
I'm gonna look it up.
Or like do you automatically get like the top 5 pick or what? Because I'm not sure how that works.
I don't know if anybody like watching.
Let us know in the comments down below in the video if they do.
So if an NBA team is the worst,
Just search how the lottery picks work.
Under the current rules, only the top 4 picks are decided by the lottery and are chosen from the 14 teams that do not make the playoffs.
Oh,
The team with the worst record or the team that holds the draft rights of the team with the worst record has the best chance to obtain a higher draft pick.
see, that's what I thought.
So it's like a free draft pick.
Right. So if your team sucks and you don't make the playoffs, you automatically get the top 14 pick. But some teams have traded those picks rights to other teams like us, so then we get those picks.
Right.
So we already have if we don't make the playoffs, we already have a pick, but then we get another one from another team because we traded for a pick or whatever. So that's pretty cool.
So we still have a chance, but it's not as great as like a
Correct.
Detroit Pistons.
So they're probably gonna get a top 3 pick this year. And then they have one more with a second round pick. But
Yeah.
So looking at their future right now, Cooper, it's not. I mean, they have as many picks as the other teams.
Right, but they do have a lot more solid of players
Okay.
that are not healthy this year. And that's probably the biggest reason why they're suffering. But I think time and health plays a big role.
Right.
So I think they could turn their season around next year.
Yeah. You think
I don't know.
You think they can make the play-in tournament next year? Are they still gonna be like a bottom 3 team or bottom 5 team in the East?
I think they can make the play-in.
Okay.
Next year. With a first round and a second round pick.
Yeah.
And being that Cade Cunningham plays a significant amount of games.
Yeah.
James Wiseman comes in his own.
Right.
And there's a lot of stuff that could happen.
I hear you.
So
yeah, they have good players right now. I mean, I think next year you will see the Pistons gain more
traction.
Yeah, more traction than because I mean, so many of these guys on this team have potential, and like they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they have 8 guys on their team averaging more than 10 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
So that right there should be like an upside, just based on their talent already. So let's move into the final team, Cooper, the Charlotte Hornets. We're talk about them a little bit. What do you expect from them? I mean,
quite a bit better than
26-52. So they're a lot better than the Pistons.
Yeah.
But they have gained some traction recently with 2 wins against the Mavericks and a win against the Thunder away too. I might add.
I mean, Terry Rozier's injured. Kelly Oubre's injured, and then PJ Washington has played most of the games so far. So I mean, he's doing some work. They signed Nick Richards to a 3-year, $15 million deal.
That's good.
And I mean, LaMelo's injured, unfortunately, so he's been out for a while.
Yeah,
majority of the season.
Do you like Dennis Smith Jr.? Because he's gained some traction as well.
I do. I think in the absence of like a LaMelo, yeah, he can do some work. But Terry Rozier, when he's healthy, I feel like leads the team.
Yeah.
So, granted, like LaMelo isn't playing,
right?
But
wait, last year they were in the play-in tournament, is that right?
Yeah, I think they were 10 seed.
Yeah,
and they lost.
So I mean, that gives you some hope whenever they do have LaMelo on their team.
And I mean, I feel like PJ Washington, I don't know. The relationship between LaMelo and Miles Bridges was tight. and I feel like someone to kind of fill that role in their team would be appreciated.
Right.
I know Gordon Hayward hasn't been healthy this season, but he's been putting solid numbers.
He's still a good player.
So
I really like Gordon Hayward, like you said. PJ Washington, I think he can turn into maybe like a shoot. Maybe like try here. Time out. Want to take a break after this? After the Hornets, we can come back. Talk about some NFL, NBA, the NBA. Oh yeah, that you're talking about
MVP.
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 So, like I was saying, Gordon Hayward he's still a good player. PJ Washington, I think he can develop into like a kind of like a DeMarcus Cousins almost, where he averages like 20 points per game, 10 rebounds or something like that.
Who?
PJ
Yeah.
Washington.
Yeah. I totally think that.
I like Kelly Oubre a lot as well. He's just been injured.
Me too.
Terry Rozier has shown he can be an amazing point guard. Same with LaMelo. So
Yeah.
and somebody I really like is Mark Williams. Mark Williams is really good too.
Is that Kenrich Williams' brother? Or
No,
he
he went to Kentucky.
Okay.
But he's kind of like the backup to PJ right now. But they play on the floor together.
What does he look like?
Mark. He's like 6'10", 7 foot actually.
I don't know if I've seen him before.
He played for Duke last year. He's just been injured a lot. So
I'll keep a lookout for him. Let's see their picks real quick.
yeah. Let me
cooking.
put that on right now.
Hey, we got 5 second-round picks.
So they have 4 second-round picks, one first round plus another one because the lottery. And then they have next year they only have 2 picks, but this year they have 5.
Yeah.
Plus the one that'd be 6. So they got some work to do, man.
They got potential.
They have more picks than the Pistons, so they have a lot more potential to build on.
Yeah. And they're doing better than the Pistons this year, so
right. So that kind of puts them above my ranking right now.
In a way, yeah.
So
I mean, everybody can't be the playoffs.
True. All right.
Somebody's got to lose.
Somebody's got to suck.
So
this year it's the Pistons and the Hornets.
Hornets and Rockets.
And Spurs. Our team that just got eliminated from the playoffs, Cooper, sadly, is the Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah. And to be expected. I mean, their whole starting lineup is out.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, we kind of expected them to, they made a couple trades during the middle of the season with Cam Reddish and
they had a pretty good off season.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought they would be maybe a higher seed, but it's unfortunate. The injuries have taken a toll on them.
Right.
So
yeah, especially with Damian Lillard, who has only played 58 games this year.
Yeah.
It's not typical for him to play that few amount of games, but they do have a lot of great talent on that team. I've said before, like Fernie Simons and Damian Lillard and Jeremy Grant, who OKC used to have.
Yeah. Jeremy Grant has kind of come into his own too.
Yes. Yeah, like after we traded him away, he became like this huge all-star, and he's such a good player now.
Yeah, I really like his game.
And then Yusuf Nurkic, who, you know, has battled injuries the last couple of years, but he finally kind of came back this year.
Yeah.
Improved a little bit. He's a great big guy to have on your team. And then Cam Reddish, who he actually got some playing time finally.
Yeah.
The organization probably trusted him, and
I mean, they did trade away Josh Hart,
right.
So that is a big defensive player.
And then Shaedon Sharp Cooper, your guy, man.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about him this year?
I like the draft of him, and I think he's a promising character in the Trailblazers arsenal. So I think they're good for him.
Yeah.
Thibault, I like that pickup.
Big time defensive guy.
Yeah.
What do you think overall about the future of the Trailblazers? I can go look at their draft picks real quick.
Yeah.
What do you think? They're definitely keeping Damian Lillard, but
yeah, he's got a max contract.
Yeah, what do you think about their future right now?
Yeah, I mean, just staying healthy is the biggest thing for Dame. I know throughout his career, he's been pretty consistently playing games. So this year, I don't know why it dropped off, but just a lot of injuries and stuff. I mean, it's a solid team when they're all together, and so I think it might be a deadly team next year. Just need more time, I guess.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
So they do have 2 first-round picks this year, 1 second-round pick. So I mean, they have some good years with some pretty solid draft picks. I mean, each year is about 2 or 3 picks per year.
Yeah.
On average. So that's always good to have. But when at some point you're gonna need to start rebuilding this team. Because I feel like you can't just win with Damian Lillard and Yusuf Nurkic. I mean, you need some other guys.
I think Jeremy Grant and Thibault and stuff like that. I think you could win.
They just need more depth.
A couple of series, but
they need more depth on that team
to win the West or something like that. That would be
like remember back
need more pieces
like
for sure.
I mean 4 or 5 years ago they were like the third seed in the West.
McCollum.
Yeah, they had
Lillard.
Hey, CJ McCollum and David Lillard.
That's already a really, really solid backcourt. Right. So
you need another guy like CJ McCollum to fill that void, in my opinion. Because I mean, Anthony Simons, he's averaging 21 game, but is he CJ McCollum? No, I don't think he is, especially not in his prime. CJ McCollum in his prime was like averaging 26 a game, 27.
I mean, Simons is a good replacement, I think, because he could. I mean, he's developing still, I think. So
yeah, if he can develop into maybe like just something that's a little more.
And I mean, within the 3-star or within 3-point leaders, it's like 73 points right there. Just with your three big guys on the floor.
Right.
So
yeah, I hear what you're saying.
I think they just need to stay healthy. That's the
biggest thing. Yeah. And they traded away Gary Payton, which I didn't like. Gary Payton's a really good player.
I feel like it was.
You think it was necessary?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he was injured like at the time, so
yeah,
it wasn't a huge asset trade. So
all right, well, let's switch over to the Hall of Fame class 2023 in the NBA. So some notable guys on the list is Dwayne Wade, Dirk Nowitzki, Tony Parker, Coach Pop, who's still coaching.
Yep.
And some other guys. Can you give me your thoughts maybe like on the class? Some people are saying this is the greatest class of all time. And then Pau Gasol as well.
Yeah, Pau Gasol. Yeah, I mean it's a pretty good class. I think Popovich is most notable, I would say. As a coach, is just the things he's accomplished is just crazy.
Yeah.
Dirk Nowitzki also, and then can't discount Dwayne Wade's legacy.
So we have Dwayne Wade, Dirk Nowitzki, Pau Gasol, Tony Parker,
yeah.
Becky Hammond, who was amazing. She's actually a coach.
Okay.
Um,
6-time All-Star 2022
Yeah.
WNBA champion.
She was
Is that
actually-
as a coach?
yeah, 2022, yeah.
Okay.
She was actually a coach for the Spurs, but then I think she's in the WNBA. But
Okay.
and
That's
then
cool.
Coach Pop, of course. I mean,
Yeah. 3-time Coach of the Year, 5-time NBA champ.
yeah, it's gonna be it's a really good class. I'm really happy that they picked these guys because they all deserve it,
Yeah.
honestly. Especially with Pal, the recent events of not recent, but Kobe Bryant passing away and he
Right.
having his jersey retired. I think that was a pretty amazing moment
Yeah.
to share.
Yeah.
But let's switch over to some actually no, let's stay in the NBA real quickly. So
Oh yeah.
let's Cooper talk to the audience about the new agreement between
Right.
the NBA and the NBTA.
So there's a couple rule changes within the award system. So like an MVP or all NBA team or defensive player of the year, stuff like that, rookie of the year, will be a 65 game minimum. So
Threshold.
and then I think there's probably certain requirements within that, certain minutes or something like that. They haven't released the full thing, but
Okay.
from my understanding, there's going to be an in-season tournament with like prizes for teams that win.
Okay.
It's like a single elimination tournament.
Do you know what the prizes are? Like,
I would assume it's just money or stuff like that. And then
oh, wait. So it says each in-season tournament game would count toward regular season standings. So if you win the tournament, you get more wins, I guess.
right. And so it could arrive as soon as the 2023-2024 season.
So next year.
So yeah, next year.
Okay.
And then
Do you know why they're doing this? Why they created this
so
in-season tournament?
from my understanding, I would say it was probably to create more excitement around the regular season. Just like the middle of it too. So
yeah.
Plus with like load management and stuff like that.
And then so also they're doing a higher percentage for max deals. Is that right?
It's 120% to 140%.
Which could affect some players this offseason, especially Jaylen Brown.
Yeah. And it would limit the amount above the threshold for certain teams to spend. So like we go down a little bit.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. So like Golden State wouldn't have been able to pick up Dante DiVincenzo. Milwaukee wouldn't have been able to get Joe Ingles. So all of this doesn't go into effect this year. It's
next year.
Not effect.
So the NBA is implementing a second salary cap apron.
Right.
17.5.
And I think this system specifically is going to be like what do you say? Eventually, like slowly introduced to the league. It's not gonna be like a next year it starts, so
I got you.
a transitional period.
Okay. And then I heard like that they are implementing a system where players are allowed to smoke marijuana and like in their free time. I think something like that.
Is that like on ESPN or something?
Yeah, I was like in some article I read where marijuana isn't like gonna be a illegal drug anymore for players to use recreationally.
Okay. Is that like on the player grounds, like on the NBA grounds?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. That would be.
And then you were saying about the two-way contracts too, that they were changing?
Yeah, so I think they're wanting to increase the amount of two-way contracts to like get guys that would be in the G League more opportunities to
I like that.
come up to the NBA.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a lot of talent down there. So,
Right. Yeah.
and
So-
I was reading, I saw a notification, and I don't know if they're doing it like in effect this year, next year, whenever it is, but I think they're lowering the minimum age you have to be to declare for the draft. So
Whoa,
I don't know what it is
that's it's pretty awesome.
to get like foreign guys maybe
Yeah, like,
who don't have to be like
yeah, who are
going to
like,
college
right,
or in the US system. So
all right, well, that's about the NBA stuff we have today, but let's switch over to some men's basketball in the NCAA. So in my
same sport.
same sport, different,
Yeah.
So college basketball, I had Houston, Alabama, UCLA,
Yeah.
and
All my brackets are busted.
yeah.
Dude.
Brackets are busted officially for me.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought these teams would have made it?
No one seeds.
No one seeds, which is really sad because every single like every single win in the last 12 years has been like a 1 seed.
Yeah.
So, but Cooper, tell me which teams you're taking. First, tell them the matchups and which teams you're taking.
Right. So you got Florida Atlantic versus San Diego State at 5 today. And then Miami UConn 7:49. I've been watching kind of here and there Florida Atlantic play. I really like their gameplay.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wouldn't put it past them to win that game. I kind of want to see them in the final championship.
What about Miami UConn? Who do you have winning that?
I'm gonna say Miami.
Okay. So I'm gonna go UConn, Florida Atlantic.
Okay.
Because Florida Atlantic, they just have so much chemistry among themselves.
Yeah.
And they play great defense. Their offense is really good. And the thing with UConn though is they're just a championship team, dude. They're built to win, dude. They just have a great coach, great players who all know what their rules are, and especially their defense is amazing too. So I just don't know, man. It's gonna be tough because you just don't know these games anymore.
Yeah.
Like I thought I knew what was gonna happen, but now we have like a 9 seed, 2 5 seeds.
I mean, March Madness is like it's just so uncertain. So
right, you just never know what's.
I wouldn't bet on it. Like
I wouldn't bet
I
either. It's just so like you just don't know what's gonna happen.
But yeah, that's NCAA. So
let's talk about one last thing.
Yeah, let's talk about NFL
season. I really want to watch this video. So we're talking about the Aaron Rodgers situation right now. We saw Pat McAfee show about 2 or 3 weeks ago about his mindset and where he thinks he's gonna what he wants to do with his career. And I'll just show you the video. Hold up. Were you allowed to show the video, or no?
we don't get monetized anyway. So
Here, I'll just
show it.
Actually, let's not watch the video because I might get demonetized.
What? We're not monetized.
Oh yeah, you're right. Oh,
it was just good as
let's see. Which is there, bro? Hold up. Have you seen this, Cooper? No. No. Let me share my screen here. Let me go back. So basically, this is just Aaron Rodgers telling us like his thoughts of what was going to happen and stuff like that. So
When I came out of the darkness, something changed. I'm not exactly sure what that was, but something changed. And I got back to my phone after 5 days off of it, because your phone's not off, because I'm just on the Wi-Fi that, give you something. And I got back to that little.
for context, Aaron Rodgers went to a darkness retreat in Oregon, and he was there. Basically, he was in like this cave for like this room that had no light for 5 days. Basically trying to decide if he wants to play more or if he wants to retire. So
And also with psychedelic drugs,
no,
ayahuasca specifically. Yes.
no, he wasn't using that.
Ayahuasca, yeah.
Not for the darkness retreat.
That's it literally just said that.
No. He's not using the ayahuasca during the darkness retreat.
He's not?
No.
Why did it say that?
That's because of like last year he went to Peru and used it. That's why. He's not using it right now.
You sure?
Yes, I swear to God. Like, so basically the ayahuasca thing is like
rewind the video.
that's just like a description of him. Like, look, back-to-back MVP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, come on.
I mean, I
When I
wouldn't.
came out of the darkness, something changed. I'm not exactly sure what that was, but something changed. And I got back to my phone after 5 days off of it, because your phone's not on it, so I'm just on Wi-Fi and it, hit me. And I got back to that little shack they have where there's one bar of Wi-Fi. I got back to the, hundreds of messages and emails and all different things. I realized that there'd been a little bit of a shift. And that I heard from multiple people that I trust, friends and leading players mostly, that there was some shopping going on, that they were interested in actually moving me. At the point, that's where my mind was. My mind was.
So basically, before he went in, he was gonna retire, but after this, things kind of.
My work was and I thought that was what was best for me. So I really got to contemplate a lot of things, but one day I spent time one day I spent time and just really sat with that for hours and hours, what that looked like, what the reality is, how that all felt. And when I came out, I was really interested in what the kind of landscape was. And obviously, if I wanted to play, what are the options? So it was clear to me at that point that although the Packers were going to say the right thing publicly, that they were ready to move on. I don't know what changed that or what moved that. It is, hey, we need to make a decision here because he hasn't made a decision yet. Again, there's no victims here. I'm not sitting here as a victim. I love Green Bay. I love the fan base. They're incredible. I lived for playing for them and for letting go. A lot of love for the organization. I just think I wish that in the beginning of the offseason that had been a conversation because I love direct communication. They just said, we think it's time to move in a different direction, and we love it. And you're going to be a Hall of Famer, and on the Hall as a Packer, tired of whatever it might be, but it's time to move on. I would have said, man, thank you so much just for telling me that. Like, I really, really appreciate that. That means the world to me that you would tell me that. Because I really believe that's a sentiment, and that's fine. It really is. It's totally fine. This is an incredible profession, but it's a tough business for sure. You've said that for a long time. Yeah, said that for a long time. Some of these issues were things I was talking about 2 years ago. It was how do we treat older players in the way out, and it's ironic that I'm not a player, but I think it's the beauty of life is the the sense of humor that the universe has. But so no malice and bitterness towards Packers. It's been very sweet for sure the last 10 days. So I shifted my focus to entertaining, what playing would look like, and had granted officer permission for the Jets to come visit later this visit. They decided to leave their cars in the street, which attracted paparazzi attention, which got viewed in photograph, which was pretty funny. But yeah, that's really. But we had a nice conversation, and I told them, listen, I'm going to get back in my workouts to see the videos, to really hit it hard for a week. But I've been working on it for that. To really hit it hard for a week and see if they're trying it. And then I'll see where we're at. And so again, this is why this is not a decision here. The decision I think was made in my mind whether or not it would fit it. Really on Tuesday I wanted to play. And then it was how was my body feeling, is going to be able to hold up. So at this point, as I was getting, I'm really clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play with the yes. And I haven't been holding it at this point. It's been a conversation trying to get for me and kind of digging their heels in. So I would just
So basically what he said there is he wants to play. He doesn't want to, if the Packers don't want to play him, then he wants to get traded and play for the Jets, basically.
Did you screen share?
Yeah.
Okay.
But so right now, this is like what, 2 weeks ago? So Packers they still haven't traded him yet.
Yeah.
And that's because they want all the assets that they can get, basically.
Right.
Because, since Aaron made it public that he wants to get traded, it makes Packers more, it makes the Jets more of a, like, I don't know, Packers want more, like, out of the deal, basically.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what's happening right now.
I mean, rightfully so.
It's still happening right now, and they still haven't made a deal yet. So, I mean, we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, but I mean, moving on to some other off-season stuff is like Lamar Jackson's questionable future. Like, where is he going?
Yeah.
I don't see him really staying with the Ravens, but who knows?
I just think maybe
There's not a lot of teams there.
that need a quarterback right now.
Yeah.
So I would say, honestly, he's probably gonna stay with the Ravens.
Yeah, that's
And
what
probably take the deal,
like. He probably doesn't want to,
but he's gonna have to.
He will.
Yeah, he's gonna have to play the 1 year extension, or not extension, but
One, he doesn't really have an agent. He uses his own
right.
agent, so I think that.
And
complicates
the reasoning behind him wanting more money is because of Deshaun Watson, mainly because he got $230 million guaranteed, which is absolutely insane. But I understand why he wants that money, because he's taking so many hits for that organization already. But when they don't respect you for that, then
right. And there's, I don't know. I don't see really any other team that would like really need him. I'm trying to think of like a team that is desperately looking for a quarterback.
Well, we will have to see, but
maybe the Rams, but
maybe we'll see. Thank you guys for watching the podcast.
It's a long one.
It was definitely a longer one today. We appreciate you guys. If you guys can, please subscribe down below, like the video, share with people you know. Thank you guys for watching, and the thoughts, Cooper.
all I have.
All right,
Thank you guys.
thank you guys, peace.
Peace.